Hi there, and welcome to my channel, Salini Divine Mother. I'm Salini, and I'm here to help you find yourself and to have a spiritual awakening and to do some readings. Right now, I'm going to do a reading for the collective, which means for everybody. You never know what that's going to be, but I have the cards and I'm going to say a little prayer. Before I do that, I just want to let you know that if you'd like a private session with me. You can have a reading, you can have a healing, you can have a puja, which is a sacred ceremony like for wealth, healing, for family harmony, for transformation, for protection from evil. I have all kinds of them. Also have karma busting. I do karma bustings every month. If you want to do a coconut smashing karma busting ceremony, they're only, I think, $50, something like that. And I do those all the time, all the pujas, which are ancient ceremonies for all the different types of things that we need in life: career, abundance, health, happiness, love, protection. I do those. And I also teach classes. I'm going to do Jedi warriorship for protection and learning how to fight back against evil or to protect yourself from evil, and Reiki 1 and 2. My next class up will be Reiki 2 and then Jedi Warriorship. So if that interests you, you can go to my website for that or for a private session or for just for a reading. I also do animal Reiki. So if you have a sick fur baby, you can send them to me and I'll work on them. Okay, and I do that long distance. So I'm a Reiki master, so I do this stuff long distance. I'm also an addictions counselor, trauma recovery counselor, past life, retrieval, soul retrieval and past life, and Akashic records, any of those things I can do. So if that interests you, go to my website, salini.love, and just click on the navigation bar, book a session, and you go down the list. And then when you pick one of the things that happens on my website, it drops all the way to the bottom of the page to the contact form. You just have to scroll up a little bit to pick a date. Okay? All righty. So let's say a quick prayer and get started on the community reading. Collective reading, excuse me. Holy Spirit, please come through and truth, healing, love, transformation, all good stuff, protection for all those who listen to my readings. Let there be a healing and an awakening to each individual that hears my words. Please speak through me the words of the Holy Spirit only, and let they be transformational and uplifting for everybody as well as healing. Thank you and amen. Okay, so we'll start with this deck. I'm going to do a few other decks probably. This is going to be a collective reading, so I don't know what's going to come out. So I'm asking for a message for everyone, a collective message for the planet Earth. Collective message. What is the message or the energy for planet Earth, please, Spirit? What is the message? So I'm going to shuffle a little bit. I don't know how long that's going to take. So, what is the message for planet Earth, for the collective? What is the message for planet Earth, for the collective? Please tell me, Spirit, what is the message? How many times do I need to shuffle? Because I'm getting 4 right now. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we need more? Yes, they're saying a little bit more. My spirit team talks to me while I'm doing things, I get downloads. In fact, this is a download. This is a heavenly download I got today that I needed to speak to everybody. It's not just going to be cards, it's messages, heavenly downloads. Okay, one more shuffle. Is that all I need? Spirit, a message for the collective. Is that it? Telling me to keep shuffling. These are my really, really super psychic cards. One more, okay. Is that the last one? Yes. Yes. Okay. This is the beginning of the message for the collective, and I might also be just start sharing because I'm getting insight and information as we speak. Put my glasses on. Mm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, I can see some of the blockages that the collective is going through right now, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Um, so the first card up is the Seeker reversed. This is not a really happy card. So it's the Son of Cups, which would be like the Page of Cups. And this is like one of the not so good cards when it's reversed. And the reason why is, let me look at it here. This is a person who does not want to grow up and does not want to be responsible or practical. And this could be a person who is dishonest and maybe a con man, con woman, and someone who refuses to start the journey of healing and awakening. And basically, kind of like a spoiled brat kind of person who's like, I don't have to, you can't make me, somebody very entitled. This is speaking to those in the collective who are refusing to awaken. So it looks like this reading is going to be about those of you who don't want to awaken. You just want to continue on being a child, and somebody else is going to take responsibility for your bills and your life, and that you just want to have a good time. And sorry, it doesn't work that way, but you can try. I guarantee you the universe, the Most High God's going to come in and spank you hard. But whatever, if that's what you want to do, this is how we start out the reading. So on top of that was not much better. Yeah, this is even worse. It's actually the Son of Wands reversed. So this is a very esoteric deck. It's different than any tarot deck you've ever seen. It's very deep, very spiritual, and it goes way down into the subconscious. So sometimes I have to look it up because there's so many different meanings for these cards that I don't always remember. Okay, so the Son of Wands, this is somebody, yeah, this is the dark group amongst the collective so far. That's what we're getting. These are people who are really afraid to change, so they're very, very judgmental, bigoted, closed off from the world. They don't want to have to anything to do with waking up. They're going to need a big shock to wake up. Very stagnant, putting things off, procrastinator, lazy, feeling very disconnected from life and just kind of sitting in their stagnation and not trusting the world at all. And maybe somebody who parties too much too. Um, so these two cards are the two starting cards. So this is the negative timeline, or the people that are not waking up yet. And let's see, maybe this will transform in the reading. Let's see how this goes. Because on top of it, well, here it comes, justice. So some of these people are criminals and con men. And by the way, so here's the information that I was going to share. September 7th is the blood red moon. And this moon is going to be very negative for people who are con men, frauds, tricksters, embezzlers, frauds, cheats, business thieves, whoever, cheating on your wives and husbands, whoever, whatever. These kind of people are going to be exposed when this particular moon goes into action for whatever reasons. That's the alignment. And rewards are coming for those who've been faithful. So what I foresee here is this is going to give me that reading for September 7th that I was going to do a whole video on, which is that it's time the demons are going to be exposed. That's what's going to happen. So when it says justice on top of these are like bad guys right here. Both of these really bad guys. And across them is justice. They're going to be brought to justice. God is bringing the karma and the justice to these individuals, whoever they are. And collective, this could be for those of us who've been wronged, you know, by people like this. Speaking personally, I've been stolen from so many times, not the least of which my own family. They stole my inheritance, stole my house, put me on the street, put me homeless multiple times. I've been homeless like 7 times. All of the men in the family are super wealthy and they destroyed all the women in the family. So these, most of them have passed, but there's one left, and I don't know what this means for him, but people like that. The criminals who like to look good on the outside, but they're really black-hearted criminals. They're white-collar criminals, and they have good jobs, and they got a bunch of money and bought houses, but they're really evil people on the inside. You can be rotten to the core on the inside and look beautiful on the outside. You can have a demon running your life and your soul, but look real good on the outside. And that's why they have to have all adrenochrome and stuff like that to make themselves look good on the outside while they're rotting away on the inside. So justice is coming for these people. And that's not what I expected for this reading at all. But what I knew about September 7th is that it's happening. So then the bottom is broken heart. And the reason why this is, and even some of these people that are bad are brokenhearted. And so they went bad because of that. But this is what's breaking the heart of the world. Speaking from personal experience, my heart's been broken over and over. A lot of you have had broken heart by people who have embezzled you, cheated on you, lied to you, stolen from you. We've all been brokenhearted by the world. And so this is the foundation. It's also the foundation of how these people become the way they are. Looking back at the people I know who did that, they were all really serious. I'm not excusing it because I didn't become that. But my father was abused. The other members of the family were seriously abused. People who don't have the moral and internal strength to fight against darkness are going to fall into darkness. And the best thing we can do is disconnect, forgive, release, but send them love from a distance and hope that they'll wake up and tell the truth too. You got to stand in your truth, whatever that is, and stand in your power. So in the immediate past that led up to this situation, there was no reflection on their behavior. So this is the hermit reversed. The hermit would be someone who's he's sitting still, he's meditating, he's thinking about his actions, like, why did I do what I did? What can I do differently? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. How about if I try this or that to improve myself or to do something for the world? He didn't do that. He just went willy-nilly out there and got himself involved in something that's getting him in trouble and is causing his awakening to be blocked and is causing him to harm other people. Let me make something perfectly clear. If you're one of these people, a trickster, a con man, embezzler, fraud, a killer, a sex trafficker, white collar crime, a pedophile, a rapist, I don't know what any of these are, cheating on your spouse, your karma, your time has come. Your karma will arrive on September 7th. Boom, big time. So the next card up, interestingly enough, is work, the card of work. That means you will begin your work. You will begin your healing work. And I think that's exciting because some of the bad guys make it to the light. Some of them actually make it to the light. And I prefer to see everybody make it to the light. I don't want to wish ill on anybody. But the bottom line is, if you're not doing your spiritual work, you're ASS is grass. I don't want to say a bad word, but it looks like you're going to move into your personal work, but it also looks like, speaking for the people who are not dark, who are not in this position of being negative and having to do it, Those of you who are faithful, excuse me, my throat chakra's been clearing for weeks. That's one of the things that started on the Lion's Gate, all of us clearing our throat chakras as we move into our power. This is about a lot of us moving into our power and our true divine mission. And I don't think this is about these guys as much. This is about those of us who did our homework. I've been working on myself by this whole, many decades that I've been on the planet. And I'm moving into my power full on. And no one's going to stop me now. So the next position. So this is the immediate future. These two things are going to happen simultaneously. The good people who did their faithful work, their faithful inner work, are going to come into the right opportunities and the right jobs. The people who chose to F around and find out, FAFO, are going to get hardcore justice and some serious karma. So then we move into this reading. Why is this happening? Because this is a collective reading. Because we have the negative male patriarchy. So this is a father figure reversed. This is a harsh father. This would be a patriarch. This would be a misogynist. The male energy minus the heart chakra. That's what this is. And what you get with that is war, violence, abuse, greed, pedophilia, Satanism, that kind of stuff. This isn't the negative male energy that has ruled the planet. And we need this to flip around. We need everybody, male and female, to come into their divine feminine and masculine in order for this planet to awaken right now. Because this is a reading about awakening and about a collective, what's going on here. This is also, there could be some individuals that are going to relate to this very directly. Because I do see some individual um, issues here that might relate individually to individual persons. So then we've got this really negative male energy, which could also be just one person. This reading could be for one person, but I'm using it as a collective reading. So for the collective, this is the male energy that's oppressing the planet. And then it's blocking our forward motion. So this is Eight of Wands reversed. And so that means there's no movement forward. And so they've blocked our movement forward. But the good news is, and this is what's in the thoughts of the negative males, that we don't want there to be any movement forward. See, this is like the cabal. The cabal doesn't want us to wake up, doesn't want us to grow, doesn't want us to prosper. They want us all to be, suppressed and poor and living in poverty and having high rent and whatever BS they want to put down on us. That's what they want for us. And so there's no forward progress with that. But upcoming is what we aspire toward. So this is where it gets better. The Emperor. So this is a positive, more, it's a male leader. And this is a positive male leader he's progressive, he's got money, he's going to help the world, and he's going to be a good leader, most likely. But it also can mean the system as a whole. So some people may want to go past the emperor, and into their spiritual awakening. But this is when it starts to turn around from the negative male energy to the positive male energy. And so we have an emperor coming in, and this represents a positive divine masculine. That's what I'm looking for, starting to approach into the collective. Um, and then what happens is another male. So all of the father cards are here, I think. No, three of the fathers, two of the sons. This has a lot to do. I'm going to have to do a second reading here. I'm going to do a second one. Um, so here are these two together. So these are actually kind of like just male leaders without heart, but they're not bad. So the emperor is a good leader. He's got money, knows what he's doing, may not necessarily be super heartfelt, but he also should have an empress with him, and she's the one that will guide his heart. This one is a good father, but this is the cold-hearted kind of intellectual, like a scientist or maybe a politician or a techie, somebody that has a good job, who focuses mentally and who isn't concerned with compassion and heartfelt situations, but is a good worker and a good father. So these two together represent the birth of the divine masculine. So that's what's coming. And so that's a good start. But then once again, so this is a possible outcome. This is a better father, and this is another possible outcome, a very negative father, another negative father. So this is why we have to do our work, or we're going to get stuck with more negative male leaders and wars and stuff like that. So this is the Father of Cups reversed, and he's supposed to be the kindest of all of the fathers. Um, and we need to take a look at this one right here. Very, very emotional, over the top temperament, and not honest. It's pretty much the ego run wild, you know? And this is not what we want in the world anymore. So I'm going to put these father cards together, these two, and then we have this other father card here, but we'll put it back in the deck. And let's see, what else are we going to put here? What's the broken heart? I'm going to clarify this. What's the broken heart? What's the justice? What's the work? And what's the emperor? And we're going to do a qualification here, because this is some important information. This is what's coming for the world. We're going to have a massive, let me just tell all of you that 2025 and 2026 are about massive spiritual awakening. That's what it's all about. And it's really started. It's started. I know how hard it is for people to see, and a lot of people are really upset at you know who, Mr. T, and they don't really understand what's going on. He's just one of the figures that has been sent here for the transitionary times. It's not the only person. There's tons of other people doing things like myself. I'm one of the divine mothers. There's all kinds of of technological advances taking place. There's going to be med beds. We're going to have a new financial system probably before the year is out. We're moving into universal basic income, no more taxes. We're going to get um, possibly rebate checks from the Doge thing. And a lot of other things are going to start happening like that. Hopefully, we're done with whaties and our armies, and thanks to RFK. And there's all kinds of things, that are going to start changing in the planet. So this is kind of showing us what's been blocking us, which is this harsh, oppressive male. I mean, just go into a culture. I went to the Middle East, and although everybody was super to me, but their culture is very patriarchal, and the women are oppressed, but they're not all being abused, but they have to do what their husbands say, and they have to be beneath the male in the religion and in Islam, and there's a lot of things like that they're not all bad or anything. I'm just saying that these are things that we need to move beyond where anybody's above anybody else, whether it's a man or a woman, and where people are able to be free and sovereign to live the life that they choose to live. I mean, if you want to be those religions, that's fine, but nobody should be abused and punished for being in one of those religions. No women should be abused and no men should be abused. Um, we have a lot of healing to do. We need to bring more compassion and open-heartedness to the table, and that's what's coming. And that's what we divine mothers are here to do. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next part of it. So is that enough, or do we need one more shuffle? Okay, one more shuffle. And as you know, this card here, everybody's got a broken heart. That's why men are oppressing people, because they're brokenhearted. Maybe they got brokenhearted in their childhood, and women are brokenhearted. And so people are abusing each other. And That needs to stop. All of that needs to stop. We need to start loving each other. So can I qualify? Okay. We're going to clarify the father cards. Okay. There it is right there. Divine mothers. Yes. Yes. Yeah, this is so right on. Every bit of it. And on the bottom, there it is. So in order for the fathers, the negative male energy to heal, we need the divine feminine to return in the star energy. Not just a divine feminine, but a divine feminine leader who pours the waters of truth and life and love. That's what this card is. This is the star card. It's the Aquarius card. This is my card. I get this card every reading because I'm an Aquarius. She's pouring it, but it can be a man as well. She's pouring the waters of life unto the earth. And so it's hope, faith, truth, love, and healing and spiritual awakening. And this is what is needed to change this negative male energy. And let's let the males come be healed. Let their pain be healed. And there she fell right on top of the men. And right on top of the broken heart was we need to return to harmony between the male and the female energies. This is the two polarities, men and women, the male divine masculine and the divine female, divine feminine, and it's upright. So that means that when we have those balanced, the broken heart will heal of humanity. And then as far as justice, wow, the burden is lifted, the truth comes out, the mind control is ended, and justice begins. This is the Ten of Wands reversed, where the oppression is lifted and the truth comes into your mind. This is very, very significant. And then as far as work coming, that was verified, qualified by the Five of Stones, Five of Pentacles, which means um, there's going to be some hard times financially for some people, especially those who didn't do their homework and who are just, stealing and thinking they're hot stuff and whatever. And that's what we have to go through to get to the abundance. Um, and then in order for the emperor to be in his real power, it's perfect. He needs to touch base with the divine feminine connection to spirit. These two together. This is the male and the female divine masculine and feminine cards. This is so perfect. So this is a need to meditate and be in nature, to being connected to spirit at all times, and that qualifies the emperor and makes him awake, tender, compassionate, and real, and to do the right thing. And on the bottom, we have the Empress reverse. So she's still not here yet. Might have to shuffle again before this is over. So I'm going to qualify this. Yeah. Okay. Woo. Stuff is happening. Okay. So until the star heals the planet, we're not fully awakened, but that is what she's going to do, or he. This star energy is going to heal the planet. And this is the age of Aquarius. This is the energy of Aquarius, the people that have come to represent the age of Aquarius. And there's a lot of us starseeds and awakeners and chosen ones and light workers of different, not just Aquarians, but we came here to wake people up and to bring the light. I came here to bring the light of love and healing to humanity. And that's going to wake us up. Boom, there we are. So it's not here yet, so it's reversed, but it's on the way. And then again, for the broken heart to be healed, the Two of Stones, we need to go into our spiritual selves. So this is higher spirituality right here. It's reverse. It's the Hierophant reverse. So it's overthrowing traditional religion and going into higher religion. Because all the religions were created by the cabals. They're not accurate, and none of them are accurate. Sorry, I have to say that to people. But each person feels their religion is accurate. And the truth is that if that were true, there would be, nobody would ever be able to coexist here on the planet. There's one God, that's it. one energy, that's it. It's for all of us, and God keeps us together and takes care of us together. So this is a higher religion that's coming for everybody. And then we've got, the Two of Cups reversed, which this is where there's justice. This is where some kind of wrong was done here. Okay, I'm getting that. This is what the dark forces did is they broke up divine unions, people that were supposed to be together. And they harmed the harmony on the earth and the love that was on the earth. And this is going to be rectified. I'm going to see what the next card is. I'm going to keep going because we're supposed to come back together, all of us, whoever it is, we're supposed to love each other. Okay, and then qualifying financial difficulty, barriers are removed to financial difficulty and it starts to flow again. So that's going to come for all of us. And then in order to step into our power as a divine feminine and masculine, we need courage. And here the courage is upright. It's coming. It's just going to get better, everybody. This is exciting. Um, I think I'm going to shuffle one more time here. Okay, what's the next row? What's the next row, Spirit, for qualifying these cards? Qualify this event that's going to happen for the entire planet. That's the global event of spiritual awakening. Please qualify it for me according to these cards here. And if I have to, I'll get another deck. Okay. I will qualify these cards, please. Yes? Okay. There it is. Yep. Mm-hmm. We're going to start working again. People are going to step out into their willpower and get the jobs done. They're going to step out, they're going to heal, they're going to awaken, they're going to go back to work. And this is going to jumpstart the wheel towards awakening. And at some point, we're going to have a victory, but we're not there yet. There's been a tremendous amount of cruelty done. And this is why the Two of Cups, the divine unions broke up. Because there was abuse and cruelty done to many of the twin flame unions. I think this has been happening to a lot of people, is that dark forces came in and broke up divine unions to keep the world from remembering what it's like to have love. We are all supposed to be together. There's supposed to be some special relationships. And this cruelty, which came from Satan, stopped it. And that's not going to stop us, though. Guess what? We go right on into the Six of Stones, which is the Six of Pentacles in the other deck. This is material wealth begins to return. We start working on our material wealth and we start bouncing back to success. Then comes the Seven of Cups reversed, which is perfect. This is illusions. This is hallucinations. Sometimes it's insanity. And this way, it means you've overcome the illusions. Living in the Matrix is an illusion. If you saw the movie The Matrix, we are living in an illusion. It's a simulation. You can create your own life. Let me tell you right now, There are certain things, and I'll teach a class on this here. I just am gathering myself from this huge transformation I just went through. Um, when you start thinking and speaking exactly how you want your life to be, it's going to happen. You're going to change everything around you. All of a sudden, you're on a new timeline. Perfect example, these glasses. These are my main glasses, which I don't like to be without. I do have a spare pair, but they don't feel as good as these do. And suddenly they disappeared. And this was a couple months ago. And I looked everywhere, and believe me, I mean, I tore the sofa apart. I cleaned off the coffee table and looked under it, got all the flashlight out, looked everywhere, the car, the bed, nowhere to be found. And I mean, I spent 3, 4 days looking for it. I thought it has to be here. I'm never, ever without these. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't find them. So it was at least a week, maybe even 10 days went by. So I had to use my spare glasses, which I don't like. I mean, they're okay, but they don't feel as good. And they don't look as good either. I mean, I feel like I can see better with these. Um, and so I'm sitting there and my coffee table, I'd cleaned it off. I'm sitting on the sofa talking to my roommate, and nothing's there on the table in front of me when I sat down. And I had my spare glasses on my head like this. And I'm just talking and da, 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 and I had already cleaned off the coffee table, so there wasn't even anything there. And as I'm talking, I look down and there's these glasses just sitting there. Oh, and I should say before that, the day before, I said, God, please bring me my glasses. Please show me my glasses. Where are they? And there they were in front of me. Nothing had was there 20 minutes earlier. And also this was broken, this arm. And I picked him up. At first I thought, wait a minute, I thought that was my spare glasses. I thought I had my glasses on and I went like this and I put them right on top of the other pair. And then I looked at them. I went, oh my God, these are my missing glasses. And I looked at them and this is repaired. The arm is repaired. And God brought it back to me. And believe me, it wasn't there even 20 minutes before that. So I wasn't looking down at the table to see them materialize. I was looking at my roommate. But because I asked God for it, said, this is what I need and want are these glasses, God gave them to me repaired within 24 hours of my request, less than 24 hours. I think it was bedtime when I asked for it the night before, and then it was about 6 o'clock in the evening that they appeared on the table. And this has been happening to me here and there, where I'll just say, this is what I need, and next thing I know, it's there. So what I'm telling you is that you can alter your timeline. We do not have to be in this oppressive matrix with burdens and financial BS going on and all these people, attacking us and criticizing us and whatever, abuse in the workplace. This is an illusion. It's the matrix. You've just decided to leave the illusion. You're leaving the matrix. You're going to be successful. Now you need to start asking for what you want, and don't be, you don't want to do this in a greedy way, like, well, I want a car and a house, so I'm going to do this or that. You just say, ask God to manifest what is going to best uplift you and move you into the highest timeline. Like I need a new job, or I need a higher salary, or my car broke down, I need it fixed. You can do a few things like that. I've had those things happen to me. Another story is I had a really serious car accident, my most serious car accident in 2006, where I broke my leg, trapped under the dashboard. It was really bad. And that was a bad story anyway. It was the deep state trying to take me off the planet. But when I was pulled out of the car, I didn't realize at the time, because I was shocked that my leg was broken, but my car was totaled. And so I was going to walk home, but the tow truck driver offered to give me a ride. I couldn't afford to go to the hospital at that time. So I just said, just take me home. And I had no car. I did have car insurance. It was a Friday. And he took me home and I called my insurance company And I said, my car's totaled. Here's what happened. I need a car because I had to go to work. And they said, well, you don't have any rental car insurance for accidents. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know. And they said, so we'll give you a car until Monday, but you're going to have to turn it in on Tuesday morning. So you're going to have to figure it out after that. And so I was like, wow, okay. So I sat down and I wrote down what I wanted, which was a Honda, and I wanted it just like the one I had. And I wrote down the details of the car. And they said they would give me $5,000 for a car. So I knew it couldn't be very much. And so I said, the car can't be over 5,000. And this was some time ago. So as you can see, it was almost 20 years ago. Cars were cheaper. So I knew it had to be used, but that it was okay. And so I wrote down all, engine works fine, no problems, no more than 5,000, whatever. And the car that I had just lost was a black Honda sedan. And it was a few years earlier than that. And so then I went down to the grocery store on Sunday after I had written all this down. I prayed and I put it down on the table. And then I went down to the grocery store, and there, parked in front of the grocery store in the parking lot, was a black Honda for sale for $5,000. And so I called them on the phone and just said, what's going on here? So they brought me over, and it was a Mexican family that rebuilds cars that had been in accidents, but there was nothing wrong with the engine, just the chassis. So I checked it out. I had it looked at. I bought it, and that car is one of the best cars I ever had. And, it was exactly to the T everything I asked for on that sheet of paper. So what I'm telling you is that it's time for you to realize that you're leaving the matrix. You can create your own reality, and you need to start doing it. And you need to start having faith in yourself and in God, God's ability to provide for you, because you will be provided for. So let's do another row, and then I'm going to do another deck. This is our collective reading. Okay, so the rebirth is what you're missing, and you're still resisting it. Whoever this is for somebody. It's not for everybody. Some people are not resisting. The Four of Wands reversed is sort of it's just like a delay, like the time is not right. There's obstacles. Maybe you don't feel good. Maybe you've disconnected from your spiritual practices, and maybe you've got a breakup or something. But you just need to rest a little bit, and then you'll come out of that. This is a temporary state. It's because we're having a transformation. So your home life might be a little shaky, or your life in general might be a little shaky, but very soon you're going to establish your place in the world right after that. So it goes directly over to the Two of Wands, which is success, and that you've earned through hard work, and that, you go from this when things were not good directly to this. This is the next card up, which means success, your own home, your life, the work you're rewarded, the pride of ownership. I did it. I achieved my dreams. I'm really proud of myself. And that's coming for you. It's coming for all of us because we're doing the work right now. And then right after that comes the positive divine mother. Here she is. Finally, we didn't have one of these in this whole reading. She's the first one, and I was shocked about that. And then what's on the bottom here? Oh, yeah, the rebirth. So this is a divine mother who's abundant, loving, nurturing. She'd be the Queen of Pentacles. She's stable, she's solid, stable, and plenty of money, and she's going to take care of the family. And then we have the Hanged Man, which means you're waiting and for this all to come in. As you do the work, you're waiting, you're holding on, and you're waiting for the transformation to take hold. And then you're going to move into your phase as a seeker. That's you hasn't quite started yet, but that's what's coming for you. Okay? And then you will have your rebirth, but you have to do the work. A couple of these are still reversed. So we're kind of slowly getting there is what's happening, folks. Okay, so that's all for that deck. I'm going to do the energy deck and then, a little bit more for the collective. And let's put this away. The energy deck. Okay, let's see. What have we? I love this deck. And what have we got? Message for the collective plays an energy message for the collective. Energy message for the collective, please. Energy message for the collective. Okay, is it done yet? Spirit, please give us an energy message for the collective. One more, okay. Yes, okay. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got some big things going on. A lot of people are anxious about what's happening. I know a lot of people are struggling financially. The cost of living is absolutely ridiculous for everybody. I mean, housing is out of control. So a lot of us are really struggling. I'm not at this moment. I have been, but the Holy Spirit is supplying me slowly but surely. And it's really important that you do. That's another thing we'll do at some point is an abundance manifestation class. I haven't been able to do anything because I've been through so much transformation, but I've worked on all of these issues over time, and there is a technique to manifesting. And so what we've got here is there's for some people their crown chakras are blocked, and that's why you're not awakening right now. This is the crown chakra. This is the seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel. And if it's awake, you're going to be manifesting. You're going to be okay. You're going to be aware of what your true purpose is. You're going to be happy and peaceful. Not all the time. I mean, you might have some moments of anxiety, but in general, you're going to be in alignment with what the universe has for you and what your true purpose is, so you don't need to be worried. And right now, it's reversed for a lot of people. So you need to work on opening your crown, meditating, with putting some frankincense on it, setting time aside for prayer and meditation. We need to be doing it every day, every single day. But the good news is your root chakra is open. And there's a lot of work. Like finally, I got my root chakra open. Boy, I've been working on that my whole life because of all the sexual trauma I've experienced. And so people are finally starting to work on their basic stuff, the root chakra and everything. And so this means you're going to start manifesting. If your root chakra is open, you're going to start manifesting. And this also means that your fears, your survival, all that stuff's going to heal. Like people that live in their root chakra, everything's about sex and food and really low vibes, really, really low vibes. We're supposed to be living in this consciousness here. So this is chakra number 1. This is chakra number 7, In between, there's 5 more chakras. You got to come up out of your root chakra and get beyond your heart chakra, and then you're going to start waking up and you're going to start realizing what you're here for. You didn't come here to buy things and constantly have sex and eat and drink and all that. That's just like really low level stuff. It's okay for a little while, but you actually came in The human body is a temple, and it is the highest possible temple for spiritual evolution. That's why you need to get up to this chakra up here, your crown chakra. And when you do, you start to awaken and ascend, and your consciousness is just like sailing forward, you know? And otherwise, this is about war and violence and greed and, indulgences and drinking and overeating and stuff like that. We don't need, we just need to stop doing that, it's ruining the world. So the other thing is people are not yet in balance. This is the angel of balance. Everybody's working on this, and I can see it right now. A lot of people come to me who are very unbalanced, and I have to try to get them to get back in balance, and a lot of people have blocked their door to personal healing and happiness. We want this to change. This one's closed right now. I see a lot of people are very unhappy come to me, and obviously happy people aren't going to come to me, but maybe they will. But I get a lot of people who are not doing well, either physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, and they need some upliftment or some healing or whatever. But the good news is the magician is up, and that means that he's here to transmute. That this is your inner magical power to transmute and heal. And now I'm talking about is sacred alchemy. You need to look in the mirror at yourself. What's wrong? What's keeping you down? And then transmute it. Transmute it. Um, this is a positive. It's not a negative. This is not a black magician or anything, or sorcerer or witch or warlock. This is a person, this is your own higher self who's capable of healing you and transmuting negative energy and awakening your higher chakras, bringing you back into balance, opening the door to healing and transformation and happiness. And you need to call on your inner magician to open the door for you. I'm going to do another row here. Yeah, here we go. It's a little bit better. Still got some things blocked. There's also a lot of blocked stuff lately. But your third chakra is open, so this is creativity. This is along with your higher, you're moving up. It's your stomach chakra, your solar plexus. This one is open, but you need to choose a path, a temple path, whatever it is. By that, I mean a spiritual path. What is your path going to be? You want to be a Buddhist? You want to be a nun? You want to be by yourself and just meditate? I don't know. Pick a path and pick certain spiritual practices and begin to do them. That's how you're going to move forward. That is when the possibilities will begin, adjacent possibilities. Doors will open for you after you start your spiritual work, not before. So right now it's like this, but it's out of balance. You're out of balance right now. But when you do your work, you're going to come back in balance. Again, because doors are not open, there's some financial blockages. But that's not going to last. You need to strategize. You need to bring in, like, how am I going to change? What am I going to do to change? How am I going to improve my life? Okay, we'll just do another row. Yeah, I'm getting this over and over and over, that people are not resting enough. You need to rest. You need to have patience. And it looks like jealousy is leaving your life, some jealous people. And then there will be a victory after you've rested and rejuvenated. And you need to be careful of people, use your discernment, who might try to take advantage of you. And let's open a card here in the middle, and I'm going to close it out. I'm going to do one more deck, but yeah. You need to be at peace in the garden and the gate and do your healing work. And after that, good things are going to start coming. Okay, so let's pull one from the Rose Oracle. I love this one. I'll just pull one card from there. And that will do it. for tonight's collective reading. So we're talking about, like in the beginning, we talked about the bad guys. They're out there deceiving us. We have to have discernment and not let them do that. I've been deceived. I know what it's like. I had a lot of lessons to learn. And I was born into deceit. So it hasn't been easy, but I've done it. I've done the work now. So I'm not going to say nobody will ever get anything over on me, but most likely not at this point in my life. I'm pretty skilled at discernment. Okay, can we have one Rose Oracle card, please? One Rose Oracle card to close out the reading. One Rose Oracle card to close out the reading for the collective. Something positive, please. Something very positive to give people hope. Okay. Here we go. Ancient power. It's the Temple of the Rose. This is a female activation, Divine Mothers. Expression, activation, and scarlet codes, but it's for everyone. It's like as the ancient power returns, people are going to be activated, and that's what's about to happen. And they're going to be activated to their true um, purpose. It says scarlet codes. I don't know what those codes are. Okay, I'm going to read it. Let's see what it says. Temple of the Rose. $130. Okay, so this is for millennia, feminine power, expression, and wisdom. What did I say in the beginning? It was about the patriarchy suppressing us, with suppression of the divine feminine and the over domination of the male energy, which is yang. It's like distorted yang energy, distorted masculine, and suppressed feminine, which is an imbalance. So it says here, for millennia, the feminine power, expression, and wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. We've become disconnected from the earth, which is the mother, and have stopped revering our elders. This is so true. But times are finally changing. We're all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, or share our voice, connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we call back our power, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we come together in a circle, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we honor our cyclic nature and the cycles of nature, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Regardless of whatever gender you identify with, this is a card of calling back your power. It's a card of expressing your truth, no matter what it is. It's a card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. Whoever you are, male, female, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. Black, white, um, whatever culture you come from. This is a card of activation. It's a call to action, and it's a remembrance. You're the child of the ancient goddess. As you express yourself, you express for all of those who could not. As you reclaim your power, you do so for all those who cannot. Each shackle you break through, you free those who are yet to come. Share your voice, sing your song, dance your dance, reclaim your power. This is what you came here for. How are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or humor, or honor the cyclic nature within? Ask yourself that question. How are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or to honor the cyclic nature within. Because when you do that, you awaken your heart again. This isn't just for women, this is for everyone. What do you need to do to awaken your heart again? You're entering the temple of the rose. Enter sacredly, honor her, and remember what it felt like to have an open heart once again and join in sacred union with other of whatever gender you choose. So this is your reading for today, the collective. I feel like there's a lot more to say, and I will do another reading when I feel ready. I felt it today, but I don't always feel it, so we'll just wait and see till the next one comes. So I hope this was helpful to people, and I want you to understand that when I say things like there's the bad guys and stuff, we're talking about demonic forces, the cabal. They're going to be removed. They're going to be facing their judgments and their karma, and their time's up, you know. Oh, we are coming into our power, and the mothers, the divine mothers, the star seeds, the chosen ones are leading the way because we were prepared for this. You know, we are here for the Aquarian age. I've been prepared for this as an Aquarian. I've been through a lot of suffering and transformation. I'm here to guide you if you want to be guided. And you can always make a session with me or listen to a video. Um, but just remember, this is for everyone. Everyone can wake up. Even dark ones can wake up. I've pulled a lot of people out of the dark. I can pull you out of the dark, but you have to be willing. I can't, if you don't want to change, if you want to be dark, okay, then your judgment is here. Your karma is here. Your timeline is over for being dark, actually. It's ended. You're going to be chopped at the knees today, tomorrow, the 7th. So the best thing to do is make a decision to surrender to the light, to do your healing, to come forth into your divinity. Do you have any idea how much better life is when you cross over to the light? There's no more suffering. I mean, they're not having a good time. Satan's punishing them all the time and pushing them to make money and to do this and that for Satan and, you know, whatever contract you signed. And once you just say, you know, I've had enough and I've suffered enough, I don't want to do it anymore. That's when you can come into the next into the light and into your true self and into where all the beauty of your true soul is. It's going to be really fantastic. Um, so, you know, watch for this to happen on the 7th. You're going to see the fall of a lot of dark ones, of maybe the cabal, maybe all the demons. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. And you're going to see the rewards coming to the faithful. And you're going to see the rise of the exiles, the scapegoats, the black sheep, the divine feminines, all the ones that were put on, all the times that I was pushed to the back, kicked out, made homeless. And they say you're disgusting, you're this, you're that, we don't care about you, whatever. You know, yeah, right. Well, we'll see what happens. And I refuse to give up. And here I am. I'm still here. Guess what? I'm still standing. No, you weren't right. I wasn't a bad person after all, was I? I wasn't that person that you lied about, and I wasn't evil, and I didn't do anything, and I wasn't the stupidest person in the room. I was actually the most loving, competent person in the room and that you would ever meet, and the most generous, most compassionate, forgiving individual that have forgiven all of you who did all these things to all of us. I forgive you. Now move your ass over to the light now. Mama says so. And stop being a jerk. Stop being an a-hole. Get over and get your healing done and join us over here. We're going to have a big party when this is over. Okay? We're going to have a real good time when this is over. The golden age is here. The Aquarian age is here. And I'm going to be here for you, and I love you. All righty. So I say to everybody, namaste. Hold the faith. Be strong within yourself. Stay strong. Open your hearts. Let's come back to the light. Let me help you transform your shadow, or you transform your shadow. I can't do everybody, but let's do it. Let's get it all done, and let's get this place cleaned up, and let's have a happy planet again. Okay? Can't wait to see what you're all going to do when you find your divinity and your beauty all over again. Okay? I love you so much. Until next time, I love you and namaste.